consciously summon out. What does day 3 feel like? Summon it.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna record for us.
Do you want to do it on the Zoom? The laptop?
That is up to you. I just started a new meeting.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Normally I'm like way over there. Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
That's actually perfect, right in between the two lights.
Okay. And cut. Okay. So we have to feel the emotions of every single day of having that paper cut. So if you can consciously summon the emotions, the cut is actually going to start to rapidly heal because your higher self simply wanted to experience those emotions. So in order to start triggering the emotions, you want to go inside and you want to feel and just imagine. Imagination is key because when we start to use the imagination, it truly allows us access into our manifestation abilities. So, for example, any manifestation coach teaches you have to see yourself in the car, you have to smell the car, you have to feel the car. What does the whole experience feel like to you? And then you have to hold that frequency to allow that manifestation to come in. What I'm talking about is now we have something that we don't like inside of the body. So close your eyes, imagine and visualize that headache. How does that headache feel? Now come to a place of neutrality. It is okay that I am having the experience of having this headache. It is okay to feel the headache. It is okay to now be neutral to the headache. Now, how would the headache feel in an hour? Imagine and visualize that headache and how it feels tomorrow. Does it ever go away? You can even utilize things like free passes in order to manifest it shutting off. So if you are in the regular routine of taking something like a pill to turn off the headache or reduce the amount of pain it has, you can imagine and visualize that you already took the pill, and then your biologicals are going to start to give you a response in which you had utilized the placebo effect to manifest a desired outcome. This is known as a free pass among the stars. When we start to utilize free passes, it gives us the opportunity to start manifesting into the higher frequency ranges. What would you have to do to feel the emotion code of already being fully healed? Now, in your mind's eye, see you taking those steps in order to manifest that healing. Many athletes on your planet may also tell you the same thing. They will go into meditation and they will consciously see themselves generating the exercise in their mind. And then that has a real physical effect on their bodies, as if they had really been doing that activity or exercise. When we start to go inside the mind, it truly allows us access into the full base of the emotion grid. Your emotions are very complex as you have been genetically modified to experience a full range of manifestation abilities. The human body is encoded with 365 extrasensory abilities, allowing you to manifest and become a celestial being. A celestial being has full manifestation over the entire universe as they see fit. For right now, we wish for you to start on a baby step level. And that looks like coming inside and feeling the emotional expressions that you have already experienced. And so any emotions that you have perceived yourself walking through in this lifetime, you now have access to that full range, whether those emotions are positive or negative. Any negative emotions, you must summon the positive ones to heal. Any positive ones, you must also summon the negative. There is a law of polarity in your universe, which states that the individual must master the full triskelion of each emotion code. That means you must positive, negative, and neutral every emotional experience in your current reality. This allows access into the full control of that emotion code. When the individual has full control over the emotion, it shall allow them access to cast whichever polarity of that emotional expression. Excitement is the same frequency as fear, but we are seeing them from two different polarities. It is the same biological responses, So when you can recognize fear, you can also generate excitement and replace the fear emotion code. This is why the polarity of all emotions is key. Any biological healings may be done by utilizing different emotion codes. The hybrid children are stepping forward. Everybody take a nice deep breath in. Oh. We are now activating your solar plexus chakras, allowing your childlike minds to fully become bright and activated, dear ones. And we are sending each of you many love and blessings. Excellent. We wish for you to feel the emotion code of standing in the sunshine. This is going to allow an energetic cord to come inside of your solar plexus and allow a recharging of your energetic instructions. Beautiful. Ever so gently, we are now assisting in removing any density and distortions inside of your primary chakra systems. We wish for you to feel the color of purple. Allow that color to resonate in your third eye. Any density and distortion is now ever so gently being released, allowing your body to feel peaceful, at love, young again. We are now activating your heart chakra systems. Allow a green flow of light to resonate into your entire energetic grid complex. Allow that unconditional love from the source frequency to resonate into all of your ring systems, bringing peace to your physical reality, bringing love, and allowing each of you to transmutate any dark cycle repeats you may be experiencing. And now we wish for you to ask us questions. Any questions, Lauren?
I feel like I always get to ask my question.
How can one find out?
Okay.
I think they all know. Mine are.
So what they're saying now is they don't want to just give the answer, because if you seek, you will find. And so in the process of seeking, you are going to find the communication that you so desire, because you do have hybrid kids. It's so silly.
I love it.
It's like, we don't want to tell her. We're not going to tell her. Okay, we're going to tell her. That's what he just did.
As soon as you said the hybrid children are coming through, I filled out the tears.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
because they were stepping through to heal your headache. That's why. And so that's why they did a recalibration. It's beautiful. That's your babies.
So Gwen is the reason I reached out to you. I'm getting chills too. Apparently I'm supposed to tell this story. You don't mind?
Is it okay to go on the Zoom?
Yes.
Yes, the
Yeah,
story's okay.
absolutely. So I watched the first part of your interview with Jeff Mara. And you were saying about the you had hybrid children and you have a starman, and I was like, this is too woo even for me.
Yeah.
The next day or a couple days later, Gwen said, I think I have hybrid children. I'm like, okay, this is too weird that this is being presented to me. I went back and I listened to the rest of that interview.
Yeah.
And it made so much sense.
Yeah.
So
The knowledge breaks down the physical reality, and it's like, oh, that's why we do this. And so I've had that light bulb moment over and over again in my journey where I'm like, this is what they're talking about, right? And they always give me the knowledge that we can take and utilize in the physical world that we live in. so that it helps us really baby step the process of evolution. You know, we live in the 3D world. We see the chair, we know it's solid, we can touch it, but we haven't had the context placed in our consciousness of I can levitate the chair or even move the chair with my mind. And so they are giving us the guidebook to do that. And that basically looks like I am the chair. Everything is an emotion code. So you have to feel the chair, close your eyes, meditate, energetically bond with the chair. So I am one with the chair. I am that. I am. And when you know in your heart, it must come from the heart. When you know that you are the chair, then you can move the chair. And it's not the chair that moves, it's a frequency inside of you that shifts you into a parallel reality in which you shifted throughout time and space into a reality in which a chair was always over there. But you're just perceiving it as being moved. So time and space abilities always come from the heart chakra. We know this is our 0 point, which is directly in the center of the 4 quadrants of the heart. And then that 0 point tunes in to your soul form and your slipstream, which is how we make contact and communication with the higher self. You have a low battery. Yes. So when we start to realize that we are one with the entire reality, it allows us to access things like that. Now, just think about how powerful humanity is going, and already is, when each and every one of us step into that reality. Wait a second, all of us have extrasensory abilities. We can control time and space. We can instantaneously manifest things that we need. We don't need money at that point. We don't even have to think about money because when we need it, it falls at our feet because we've raised our frequency and we love ourselves. And everything is based around love because we've experienced darkness. We're professionals. That's why all of us are here right now. So we could be here on this planet, feel the darkness, encode the darkness, really allow every single emotion code to that darkness to wash over us. And then we get prompted to heal it. And when we get prompted to heal it, that looks like summoning the light codes, which transmutates that entire experience. But now we're powerful because now we understand the darkness. So many times we talk about the dark empath abilities and the range of that. You have to walk the darkness to transmutate it for other people. We know this subconsciously because we take a look at people who are doing things like narcotic withdrawal intake. Right? You have to know that darkness. You have to know that world in order to help assist other people in transmutating it. So things of that nature, many times someone will get hurt and they will pick up the torch in order to assist humanity. And they'll make it their life mission to help others to heal from that journey. And so we do this naturally. We just never really understood why we're doing it. And that is because when you master an emotion code, it allows you to truly manifest in through that emotion. So if you think about the star field that's above your head, that star field has 12 points and the number 13 is directly in the center. And so when we go through our 12 experientials, which are basically cycle repeats that keep happening to us over and over again, in order for us to truly heal our reality, we start healing and coming to neutrality with a positive, negative, neutral. One of those points in our field opens up access for us. When we unlock hole 12, the 13th portal becomes open. When that happens, through the process of meditation, we pull the soul inside the body, up the centrotubule, and we can access the heavens. That's how this works. I felt it. I know for a fact it's real. And that comes from my heart telling you for the truth, okay? We are all very powerful beings. When we heal our lives, our physical realities outside of us completely change. So if you are living in darkness, or like your house is crummy, run down, your car is broken, that means that you have energy work to do. When you go inside and you start healing, all of a sudden your reflections change. And it doesn't matter what the item is. The item can be your keys on your belt. The item can be your shoes on your feet. When your frequency changes, and we'll take the shoes as a good example. When your shoes become too crummy and old, there's a part of you that says, I'm not willing to accept wearing these shoes anymore. They're crummy and they're old. So it prompts you to get up and make moves to bring in a new pair. Well, when you start to pre-program your emotion codes, that's an emotion. This is too crummy. I'm not satisfied with it. So now you have a look at your entire life. I'm not satisfied with this. I'm going to release it. I'm going to let a new one come in. do that for everything that you see in your reality, because it forces the reality to respond and give you something of a higher frequency. If we don't consciously do this, your higher self is going to do it for you. What that looks like is we'll break something. A crystal will break, and then it's, oh, I need a new one, and then you'll get a new one. That's what they do. But many times the universe releases and then receives, which is what we can see happening in the solar energetics. And so when we go through these full moons or even retrogrades, our energetic grid complex is being pulsed to release the density to allow us to bring in new. And so new looks like new information. It may be new foods. Now, we don't have to wait for a solar shift to generate this type of density removal. We can consciously focus on it every single day. I am going to release X, Y, and Z emotion, and then sit back and see what new experiences come into your reality. Once again, the new experiences can be a person. So you may release a friend who was no longer in alignment, and you may receive another friend who's more in alignment with your mission. So we take this concept and think about if you have a friend who is doing something that is not in alignment. So let's say their morals aren't up to your standard. Many times we've been told, just forgive them, it's okay, they made a mistake, and then everything is fine, but they do it again and again. At that point, that's the cycles they're running. Now, the star people always tell us it's okay to gently release. It's okay that you are still running in that level of consciousness. I will send you many love and blessings, but I am going to surround myself with higher frequency beings. And those beings are only going to be of a high moral standard. When you start to put that into play in your life, the people around you will shift because now you're placing boundary rings. The empath and the narcissist cycle requires boundary rings to be placed. For many of us have experienced that level of darkness, and the process of self-growth and self-healing requires us to place boundaries on any and all people, places, and things that cause us to feel emotions of a lower frequency. Like abuse. We say no more. And then automatically we have no choice. We have to raise frequency. Now, the universe will also put you in isolation. And that isolation is not always comfortable. There's a reason for that. There's also a reason for waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's because the veil between the spirit and the physical reality is very thin during that time frame. And it actually allows different solar energies to come in and light frequency code us, which looks like us evolving our DNA. That process must happen in a baby step process. Too much too soon, and it causes imbalances in the physical material, and you can cause severe destruction to the soul form if not done properly. That kind of looks like somebody going crazy or having a psychosis manifest. So it is always a baby step process. That is how the star people work. It's beautiful. Thank you, star people, for helping and assisting us. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Next question.
Next question. Nightmares.
Yes.
I had a nightmare last night. I used to have them a lot.
Cycle repeat.
So what can I do about those?
How did you feel when you woke up from the night?
I don't know. I woke up in the middle of it because Jen was like, wake up, you look like shit.
Thanks, Jen.
It doesn't bother me really having the nightmare, but it does come up.
Okay,
So
so
every once in a while.
for nightmares, there's several different potentials.
Okay.
Oh,
This might be good. Okay. All right.
me. You know it's good if it starts with a, yeah, I get it. Right, what we were gonna originally say was there is particular types of attachments that latch onto your energy field and trigger you to have nightmares.
Okay.
That's one experience. In your personal case, they said that you're a dream walker. And they said that there's also a level or a degree of dream shamanism in your DNA systems, which allows you access into a form of reprogramming the magnetism of the other individuals that you are currently working on. And so when you dive into a meditation state, while the other person is sleeping, it will allow you to go into their dreams and reprogram their magnetism, which then shifts their manifestation of their physical reality. However, what you personally are doing is you are going to be working with a triscallion of 2 girls and 1 boy in particular. And those 3 concepts are going to come in, and you are going to be making worldwide shifts for the entire human consciousness group.
Oh, sounds like a spiritual zone.
Yes, or for my father.
Level up.
Yeah, level up.
Yeah, they don't have to be in the physical reality because it's
Yes.
in the dream time. So many times it's the ancient ones or your ancestors.
I have been getting, I mean, for years now, my lineage, and I'm like,
That's what they just told you.
yeah,
It's in your
that
lineage.
makes
Yeah,
so much more sense.
that makes sense.
Validation.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is it, can you get information? What is it really, what's really going on when you are in your dreams? You're always healing animals.
It's an
Animals that are
attunement.
not, it's not really animals, is it?
No.
Like,
Well,
the same animals over and over again, you're all like, always healing my pets, like night after night after night. There's nothing wrong with my pets, however, in these dreams, they're like, these pets not, they have holes in their bodies, it's like.
so what that is also the dream walker ability. And so what you're doing, your higher self is guiding this process for you, but you're going into the dream state and you're healing the pets so that when you wake up from that dream, your magnetism is reflecting back to you. My pets are already healed. There's nothing wrong with them. But if you didn't do that in the dream time state, there would be something wrong with your pets because you're holding an imbalance in your biological field, which does need to be released. And that's all we do. Okay. Anything that we see in the owner of the pets always will become reflected into the animals. For the animals are known as familiars, but it is familiar because of the process of energetic bonding. When an individual energetically bonds with an animal, the animal will start to reflect any and all of the owner's personality as well as the distortion. Yes. So if the owner has something going on in their body, the animal will show the disease or distortion first. So always focus and attention when your animals become ill or even when there's a breakage. So if they break an arm, that's an indication that there's something in the owner's arm, or not even the owner's, he's correcting. He's saying there's something in the whoever's most bonded with the animal. Because sometimes like the kid can own the dog, but the parents bond with the dog. So it's whoever the animal is the closest to. That's the technical owner of the animal. That's how the animal sees it because the animal picks the owner. It's not the other way around. So when we start to see breakages, we start to notice, okay, I love and bless my body so that I can heal my breakage so that it is then reflected as being healed inside of my animal. Yeah.
That's really helpful. Can they also share, is there really pigs in, my animals are pigs, I have 3 little pigs. Yeah. I love pigs. I
Well, it's amazing.
And is there a pig planet, like, can you talk about that?
So they don't, there's tons of other channels who do like, who are we, where do we come from, what does our planets look like? They want me to stick to the ascension knowledge in particular, but every single animal on this planet was seeded from an extraterrestrial race. So let's take, for an example, if there's a lion being who looks humanoid, but he has a lion head, fur, gorgeous hands, whatever, right? They would go in and take their science to genetically modify a lion animal to place here on Earth to make the diversity of all species very wide, allowing for the source frequency to manifest through all living beings on the planet and allowing every experiential to be witnessed. This was done in order to help assist humanity's evolution, but it is more or less like Mother Earth's evolution herself. For Mother Earth's frequency was very high and it rapidly fell to a lower rate and it grounded back down into the 3D reality. And so because the ancient ones and the 9, he's saying it's just the 9, those beings were trying to raise Mother Earth's frequency. So what they did was they all got together with the galactics in order to seed the planet with a very wide diversity of all genetic chromosomes And he's saying that allowed for multiple expressions to come and evolve the planet very rapidly. It is not normal for us to go through the evolutionary process like this. It's supposed to be done over hundreds of thousands of years. We went from 20 years ago, I mean, what were we rocking? The old phones, right? Like we grew up with the VHS, and now supercomputers, computers in the car, the cars are driving. That's very rapid in 20 years. That's not normal by any means. So, but because there's so many starseeds on the planet, they knew that the consciousness was ready for it, because a part of our soul has been encoded to accept that technology, to see it as a mirror reflection so that we may activate the technology inside of our body and help us to raise and evolve. Yeah.
So on the topic of dreams, I, for the life of me, I've evolved, been able to heal enough that my dreams with my ex-husband are not mean or volatile, but they proceed as though we are still an item. So why is
Because there's still an energetic cord there. So maybe you're not tuning into your dream. Maybe you're tuning into his dream.
hopefully you having him too?
Yes.
No.
He might be happy. You guys are,
I wondered.
you are energetically bonded. So the process of intimacy, when we are intimate with the physical body, there is a cross section of DNA that enters the woman, and then her DNA is permanently changed. So we accept the male's DNA, and then we are encoded with him for life.
No.
So-
Especially if you have
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
Especially if you have children, it's your children's DNA or in your body.
Your children's DNA have, and not only that, but your DNA at your time of birth already showed you were going to have children.
Yeah,
So
I
we
know
can
it's
pull the
good.
DNA from a child, and we can see about what age that child is gonna have children and who she's gonna have children with. We can see it already. It's the past, the present, the future, it's all existing now. It's encoded into your DNA. So that's why many people say, this is a simulation, and right now we are just in this moment in time, and all time and space is here, it's already here. We can sit here and we can see the future. Humanity as a whole, we do this automatically. So if they put a brainwave reader on top of your head, they can start to see that your brainwaves are going to trigger a visual or a picture. So if the picture is positive or negative, your brainwave is going to show what picture you're going to see before it happens. That's us having precog abilities. So this is a natural innate ability that each of us have. Now what the star people are telling us is it's not precog as if you're seeing into the future, it's you are shifting your frequency, which is manifesting that image to be on the TV. That's how powerful we are. So if you feel an emotion, you can stop everything and you can change the emotion, which then shifts you into a higher frequency timeline in which you're changing the picture before it is displayed on the TV in front of you. So whenever we take the car accident example, whenever we're gonna get into a car accident, many times people report time and space slowed. And so because time and space slowed, even though it's like a panicked moment, it gives us the opportunity to go back in the heart and radiate love and light. And when we do that, all of a sudden now the car that was gonna crash and kill you, you're over here on the side of the road and everything's fine. Because you just shifted your frequency and shifted the outcome. I've seen this happen before in one of my friends. She was like, I don't know how this happened. It was like something picked up the car and put it over here, we were safe. And she was like, we should have been done. This is how it happens. She was very love and light, and she was not attuned to have that dark experience. So it really is all about what frequencies we're holding, and the frequencies are directly connected to our emotion codes. So your emotions control your biological frequency. We know this because if you shift your body, let's say the Superman pose, you are shifting your neurology, which makes you feel good. That's an emotion code. So do more things that make you feel good. If standing a certain way makes you feel good, do it more. Yoga, do it more. You want to change the flow of the energy so that even if we see someone who has a headache, maybe hanging upside down is going to release the energy flow, right? change the flow of your energy. When who was I just talking to this morning? I was telling somebody, oh, Molly. Duh. I was just telling her, when you get home, if you have a hard time holding the higher frequency, move your furniture around.
Yes.
You're changing the flow of energy in your house. Even if it's that sofa to there, it's a different color. So when you walk in the room, the colors affect your brainwave patternings, it affects your entire manifestation.
It helps with timeline.
It totally does. Totally. We timeline jumped this morning. There was Dunkin' Donuts. That wasn't there. Neither one of us has seen it. We've been up and down that road how many times? It was right next to the B&B. Yeah. I'm like, where's this? Timeline jump. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. In terms of sexual healing,
Yes.
you know.
It's okay. Listen, sexuality is triggering your Kundalini energetics to flow. That is why it makes us heal. There are advanced techniques so that women and men alike can trigger the Kundalini energetics without needing a partner. And that's done through breath work and meditation and just visualization. Now, when we start to discharge our energetics, that is a very high frequency of birth as women. And so here we go again.
Your turn, Jesse.
You can birth new planets and new solar systems by utilizing this energy, is all they want me to say. Healing this energy always comes with self-love and self-growth. And so,
What does she need to know?
I have so much information, not on the Zoom. After, we'll get into it. Yeah, again,
Yeah, okay.
it's okay. I tried.
Well, I'm wondering, do you want me to pause it?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's better.
I think she puts it now, and it's just us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
Well, this is just pause recording.
You have to baby step the
What's
process.
the next baby step? I want to do it.
Well, to open the heart chakra, it took me a couple of months. And so a couple of months was like, okay, now I can feel a little bit more. And that was all I was ready to handle. Even though I was really funny and always laughing, it was like, I still don't trust you people. And so think about earning back trust. When we're earning back trust from somebody, you can't just open your heart and accept the trust and just know it's real. No, you have to go through the experiences to build the trust. That's how your heart chakra works. You can open it, I can blast it wide open, but there's a part of your psyche that it takes about 3 days. In 3 days, it's gonna start to close down because you're still holding all the emotions and you haven't released them. Holding the emotions and releasing them is diving into shadow work, right? So you have to go inside and you have to consciously summon up the memories that make you feel uncomfortable. Those memories, then you have to unpack every single emotion. So if the memory made us feel sadness, we have to cast energetically happiness to transmutate the emotion code. So
Of loneliness.
connected. How do you feel right now sitting in a room full of people? Right? That's the opposite. You're feeling the emotion code of the opposite alone. Yeah. So we all
have to feel when we feel full.
yes. We
This is
feel
how we feel
blessed.
when we feel
You're
full.
eating.
I don't
We're all
feel-
gonna eat together. So
I didn't have breakfast.
don't eat too much.
Oh, honey, I'm good.
Okay.
See, and what's funny is I don't feel fulfilled or like, I
That's
don't.
because you have a heart chakra shape. So that fulfillment is
I'm gonna
always.
start doing that instead of cursing.
Yeah.
It's time for
Yes.
having a baby.
What?
12.
Synchronicity.
Yeah.
We got 10:01 when we got here. That's
Ew.
0 and 1. Yeah. Our binary codexes were activated. Fantastic. Everyone got quiet now. What's the next question, Joey?
Okay, so the next question is, when I have been doing hypnosis sessions to each other,
Okay.
right? If
You're a dreamwalker. You could do it to the entire room. You know that, right?
tell me what you mean.
So the people don't have to go into hypnosis. So whereas you're putting them under, you just put on music. We should do this. It's like the breath work, right? Get everyone on a yoga mat, have everybody lay down, and then put a little space in between us all, put on the music,
Mhm.
and then we'll have you go around and psychically connect into their dream time. You can do this. This is your ability. And starting on the micro scale, so starting with individuals is how it expands for you. So start meditating in front of the person. It doesn't matter if you don't do all of us, that's okay. Right? But meditate in front and see and visualize what's in their dream. Now, if you see something like a nightmare, you can go in and oh, we're gonna get rid of this. Use your imagination. We're gonna get rid of that. Cut the cord, reprogram love and light, and then you're shifting their magnetism of their energy field, which changes their complete manifestation of their physical reality.
I feel like I do that every Wednesday with the group, whoever comes.
Because that's your ability.
Yeah, maybe not their dream, but like
Yeah.
something happens in every single
Yes.
person.
Yes.
I'm not aware of it, but I know that it's happening.
Yes.
So now are the star people asking me to become more conscious of it?
Yes. And
Okay.
try and do it while they're in meditation. That meditation, the second that a person meditates, what's happening inside of the body is your body's relaxing, right? It's a form of like stasis. Your heat generally turns up.
Okay.
So that means your energy field turns up while you're sleeping. It's like a form of protection.
Okay.
And then the second you feel that energy shift in the person, you can come along and you can program their entire system. So if they're having any imbalances in the orange chakra, you can go right in and program peace, love, unity, consciousness. You're popular. You have all the friends you want. It's like the jinn. He's showing me the jinn, like the genie in a bottle. The genie in a bottle would come out and he would reprogram your magnetism so that all of a sudden you woke up like the next day and whatever it was that you were trying to manifest is here for you.
Mhm.
That's how that works.
Yesterday when I was doing the Akashic upstairs,
Yeah, think about that.
I feel like I do.
He's like, yes, you
More than I wish I could have done. But what I found I was doing anyways, I opened the records while everyone, the intention was for them to have their own journeys, right? What do you do? Plus people from one person.
Yeah.
Okay. But I held the space and I cleared and I found myself, me and my crystal working on every single one of them, and I would go back and go, oh, they need a throat, or oh, they need a Google, or oh, they need a.
Yes. Yes.
And people didn't know maybe what was happening, but
Yeah.
you knew.
I'm
Yeah.
realizing now what I.
Right.
When
and
I
that
was
how-
in, when I was in my breathwork ceremony, I've only done one. This lady came over and she touched me here, and this was the meridian I was having an imbalance with. This was my death meridian. It was trying to kill me. And it was like wham, and I felt it, and the whole meridian had just become activated. So that's your ability, right? So when you're dealing with people in meditation like that, and you are casting love and light onto them, even utilizing a crystal with copper wrapped around the crystal, that does the same exact thing as acupuncture. So you don't have to inject a needle into the skin. You could take the crystal, just put it on the skin, and allow that energy to absorb right into the meridian
That's
system.
what I do with polarity therapy is acupuncture.
Yes. See, that's what star people are telling you. That's amazing. Good confirmation, right? There you go.
Wonderful. Do they have?
Oh, look at what you have. He feels safer.
And
He's still gonna hate
lately
me.
on Wednesdays, I've been getting a lot of messages to give to Ed. Do the
Yeah.
star people have any
Yeah, just give me
messages?
a couple.
I thought that too. I was like, I didn't even get Ed in the room yesterday. Yeah. Like, no.
Do they have anything for?
Open to whatever shows up. I'm kind of opening myself and I'm not connected.
He's funny.
but they'll happen.
What did he say?
He said, no, I'm not giving him anything. He's joking. This is
I'm
banter.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes. We have to take it off the camera, is
Okay.
what he's saying. He just pulled your timeline, and
Yeah.
so he was able to see everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, this one we have to take off the camera. So we'll see what they say.
I can't be as bad as, well,
Nightmare. At one point, I was walking around the house and everything was a mess, and I was focused on, the tiny little things. So, but the second that you go through the healing, you raise your frequency, all of that chaos releases, allowing us to step into a higher frequency in which we start to manifest our true highest potential. That highest potential always comes with self-love, because when we love ourselves, it allows us communication with the higher self. And when the higher self embodies your physical body, then all of a sudden it puts you on the highest potential timeline. So whatever it is you came to this reality to do, or whatever lights you up or makes you shine or shine, that is what the higher self is going to push you to do. On the rare occasion, but it does happen, sometimes your highest passion will change. You go through different cycles or seasons of the life. And so you may have children, and then all of a sudden your highest passion changes. Your focus changes. That's okay too. When we start to utilize our highest potentials and passions, it really allows us to manifest very differently. Because now instead of focusing on the house is a mess, you're focused on, I got somewhere to be. I got to go have fun. And then when you get home, it takes 2 minutes to clean the house. That's what being in a higher frequency is. Your house never gets dirty, even if you don't clean it for weeks on end. I swear to you, I know it, I see it. My house is always clean. I don't work that hard to keep clean, it's always clean. That's because you're in a higher alignment with a higher frequency. Do it too. Your life gets easier. The more self-love you can cast inward, the more your body starts to heal, and the more your mirror reflections start to reflect positive. Every person is a mirror reflection of you, because we had to be magnetically in alignment to have this experience as a whole. Some people aren't in alignment, they won't be here. That's okay too.
It does feel very special that it's a smaller group.
It does. It always does with a smaller group.
And, you know,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's beautiful.
Can we do just next? If you are open to it.
I'm fine.
You're fine.
I'm okay with it.
Okay, okay. I need to go like. Pause the camera.
You give me 2 minutes.
Well, she has to let it out.
Recording.
What?
Oh, go ahead.
We can do it. Ask the question, Jody. You hit play. No, I know. No, they shut it down.
There's an element in which I've tried this before, and it's no fun, because you wanna know, but there's an element of a
You
process
have a
that you
more
have to
to
go through, or you need to go
Yes.
through, that your higher self knows you need to figure out.
Yeah.
And as fun as answers are, there's that process that is necessary to continue on to receive those when it's good time for them.
Yes. When my mother passed, the next day or very soon after, I felt like her.
Yeah.
My mother was like a little sprite
Yeah.
going all around, and I was running around here and doing whatever. What happens when someone passes? Do you get a piece of them? How do you get a piece of them?
So- They want to cover the entire depth of the soul process.
Perfect.
Depending on the experience, because everyone's moment of death is totally different. Some are very rapid, some are very slow. That's okay too. All of those emotions need to be felt. When the individual starts becoming closer to the moment of death, many times we see a soul cry. A soul cry is when the energy on the outside of the body starts to come inwards. They call it a cry, you're not really tearing though. It's like the energy comes in, and then it prepares for a depart. And that's your soul form that's in your body, departing back up to the higher self. When the individual's moment of death comes, this process happens. There's a little fractalized piece of the soul still in the body. That's why the fingernails and hair grows. There's still a little bit of life left. Human-based technologies. I tried. Okay. We're not talking about that. Through the power of consciousness, advanced healers on your planetary system will be able to summon the soul form back into the body, reuniting the lower self with the higher self, allowing for a process of resurrection to manifest. So the moment of death does not have to manifest. Any biological disease or distortion may be rewound in time, allowing for a manifestation of a perfectly healed body vessel. When an individual does choose to exit your reality, that soul form, because it goes back up to the higher self, it will then go through a process of relearning who they truly are. This process is instantaneous in your reality because your time and space flows very differently than theirs. And then that soul form, if they choose, they may cast their consciousness down and program into your personality grid complex. That allows you the emotion codes of that individual, giving you the potential for contact and communication with your loved ones. Yeah. They just have people from each other.
And so, and they use the word resurrection.
Yes.
Can we talk about resurrection? And I think you said something about that being possible in the future. Is that in our life?
It's possible now.
Yes.
We're divine beings right now. We can manifest instantly. Resurrection looks like a multitude of ways because there's multiple parallel realities running. And so one of the parallel realities is an instantaneous manifestation shift into a reality in which the individual is perfectly healthy. So you, as a multidimensional being, are able to shift and allow that reality to be experienced. However, if the individual, you are in the reality in which the person has deceased, then through consciousness, we are able to come and cast a manifestation of magnetism, which then summons the higher self and reanimates and instantaneously heals their body. We're very powerful.
We really are.
Yeah,
And,
we
and
really, really
playing with my hands
Yeah.
and movements and my thoughts.
He's saying
and
that
feelings.
when humanity does start, this has already been done, he's saying, you already started. When we do reanimate the body, there is a sense of polarity that must be held. So like north magnet, south magnet is on the bottom of your feet. And so positive, negative. That body to reanimate it must include a positive and negative polarity and a rebalancing of the energetic grid complex, which then allows a full integration of their higher self. Their higher self will then be encoded into the biological form for a minimum of 3 days, allowing that individual access into more light to allow the systems to properly readjust. Yes.
So we've been working in our group, we've been working on the toroidal field. And what should we add to what we're working on? Like what modality or how would we do that exactly?
What are you trying to achieve?
What you just said.
Who are you reincarnating?
Okay.
You don't really have to do any of that to just be here. You're already polarized.
Okay.
You're already.
Okay. So nothing.
That's
Nothing. We're doing
You can. So what the star people teach us is we pull chi energetics up the right hand side. Of course, the system crisscrosses, and we pull magnetism up the left hand side. And so we pull the magnetism down the left hand side. He's saying, and so this system is like this, but it's more like crisscross, like the DNA forms.
Yeah.
Right, and then it also spirals, and so that spiraling aspect isn't really spoken about. But it's like that vortex energetic which comes down the biological form and helps to give the impression of an existence in time and space. Your time and space, it comes like this through a spiral. And so the moment of experience on the spiral is what gives us a perception of time and space. This frequency that comes down is your binary codex frequency, your experiential frequency, and your location coding. And so we have to know how old is our body. That's your experiential. Your binary codex is how your hair looks, your eye color, your body type, what it looks like now, because now you're holding that frequency, and your location code, where are you located? These are all emotion codes. At any given moment, being a child of light, that's what we all are, we're able to come inside and to see the system of 3 and to reprogram the energetics of that frequency code, allowing us to change into a parallel reality. That's when your true multidimensional self becomes activated. Also, focusing on the wrist and the palm chakras helps you to energetically cast, which is important. Because when we start to
That's important to me
that's
specifically.
important for all of us, but you're
All of
going
us.
to teach people this, he's saying.
Because they're giving me all these like very Tai Chi, karate, and I'm like flying in the air, and I'm like, okay.
Bigger than that, yes. Tai Chi and all that, it's energy projection, so that we are moving the energy consciously with our hands. When you focus on the wrist and the hand chakras, because there's tiny chakra nodes in there, it allows the energy to flow more. And so by loving and lighting, I love and bless you body. I love and bless you body. We do that constantly. Do it in the shower, do it in the bed, all the time. You should be making that a mantra. Thank you for unblocking all my chakras, allowing for the highest frequency energy of the source to run through me, shining love and light to all individuals who are around me and who are on this planet and on all the other planets. We can say planet, yeah, all of them, right? Yeah, you get everybody.
And we don't plan it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how we do.
So I'm also getting, or have been for years, getting the caduceus and the cross and the wings on the caduceus. So
You just spoke in a foreign language to me. Really? I don't know what any of that is.
yes. Yes.
Cool.
That's my, when you were talking about like.
That's medical tribal
And then
chakras.
the neutral, I can never remember the names. The Eden and Mandala are the.
This is what she's talking about. I had no idea.
So funny. Don't turn around,
It comes from the story, no, it comes from the Old Testament. When Moses had the rod that he threw down and turned it into snakes. Everybody was getting bit by the snakes.
Yeah.
So they made this rod with the caduceus with the snakes on it, and if they had faith and they believed and they looked at the rod, they didn't die from snake bite.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's what
because
the
that
caduceus
rod
is.
probably had a frequency in it that rebalanced their energetic grids. So that it properly balanced the Kundalini energy and then all the secondary systems. Because all the chakras are on there too.
Well,
Oh, so
this
you.
is the combination, yeah, this is a combination of what it speaks to me.
Yeah.
Can I ask, I apologize, like the topic was super interesting, so we were like conversing and we're like, wait, there's more. So we missed a little bit of it. Where was the basis of that story from?
So for the design of the caduceus and how it refers to medical, in the Old Testament, there's a story, it was when people were wandering the wilderness, the Israelites were wandering the wilderness, and they basically were plagued by snakes. And so they threw down their staff and turned it into snakes. Their staff actually ate the smaller snakes. This was like a miracle that came out of Egypt. But then when they were out wandering the wilderness, this episode happened again. And so these snakes were put on a rod. They climbed up a rod. And the Israelites, if they had faith and they were bit by a snake, if they looked up to it and they had faith, they would survive. They would live. They would not die from the top.
Is this the group of people that left with Moses? And
Yes.
Moses' staff?
Yeah.
Okay.
They always thought it was like the blue, the male, the female energies.
Fire and ice.
Kundalini, yeah,
Yeah.
all of that going up. So I get the caduceus, all of that. Plus they overlaid like a cross. And then I think that the wings were something different. I think Egyptian. And there are
Well,
many different stories.
If you rebalance
Don't
your
miss
energy
stories,
grid complex, it gives you wings.
And
You're
that's why they
liberated.
raised it. Right.
Yeah, that's why. Because you have to balance all that stuff in order to raise in a 5D. And 5D is
That's where
amazing.
my tattoo's going.
That's.
That's really.
All right,
good.
what is it?
Where are we at?
Does she have wings?
Oh, she has a caduceus. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm trying to line up the green with the heart chakra.
Yeah, there's the heart, the snakes make a heart, right?
I have the Japanese kanji for mosquito on
We're
my
still
back.
on the
It's
same
supposed to be balance. It means mosquito. I worked in a Japanese steakhouse and they were like, oh, mosquito. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, it was hilarious. I never changed it. It's still there.
Saying that the image or that image has been hijacked. I'm not comfortable.
Wait a second, because we don't need to talk about hijack. The thing is,
I don't want to talk
thank
about
you
hijacking.
for putting that image in our reality so that it would trigger our consciousness through the process of evolution. guys did amazing, right? You can take our images, but the second that we see them, we become activated. So I'll take it, thank you. You use anything in a negative that you so see fit, I'm gonna be the candle in the darkness.
Oh,
I'm gonna take that negativity and I'm gonna transmutate it and I'm gonna make it my own.
without using those words. I feel like those words like hijack is like a swear.
I've never been drawn to any of those words, so I didn't even know what you guys were talking about when you started talking it, so.
I want to address it just to make sure that I was on the
That's
right.
okay. Well, a lot of people have questions like that, because they get into the conspiracy, that's a brick in consciousness. We
Yeah.
have to go through that, we have to experience the entire conspiracy, become aware of the problems, but then we have to hold neutral. When we hold neutral, the spiritual knowledge comes in next. The spiritual knowledge is much more powerful, because we learned all the negative, all the darkness in the world first. We have to see both polarities. Then we've had to become neutral. It's okay. I'm eating the food, I didn't die, everything is wonderful, right? We have another day. We did that during, that last civilization experience, where it was like, I had a thing on my vision board and it was like, today's a good day. Nobody I love died, all my bills are paid, everything's fine, right? And so that was that moment in time and that level of consciousness. That was teaching us to become neutral with the chaos. The second that we held neutral in the chaos, all that chaos disappeared from the civilization. To a degree. And then all of a sudden now, the spirituality movement is flowing. And so we see people waking up on grander scales. And so whereas at one moment in our consciousness as a civilization, it was dark, we neutraled it, and now we're pulling in the light. And it doesn't take everyone to pull in the light. Only the people who are triggered to pull it in are gonna pull it in right now. And then that light is gonna reflect off of them, and it's gonna give other people permission to activate their light. And then before you know it, everyone is activated because 100 monkey effect kicks in.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I also have been getting that message to spread our warrior and fighting days are over. Whether we needed them to be or not, that was where I was in fight or flight, our warrior days, we had to fight the darkness. We're not fighting the darkness anymore, we are being the light.
Yes, and that's
And
why
that's what
the
you're
rainbow
calling spirituality.
warriors.
Okay.
The rainbow warriors is a person. Now, what is the word rainbow? It's all the chakra systems. That's our light. That is who we are. And so to be a warrior is to really cast your light at everything, which basically is walking around the world shining love and light every single thing that you say. That is what a rainbow warrior is. Now, the Native Indians, they have a saying or a tradition or a story when they tell us at a certain moment in Earth's evolution, the rainbow warriors are gonna come. These people are gonna be very different. They're gonna be social outcasts. They're gonna feel isolated at times, but they're here to shine a higher frequency to help heal the planet. That's all of us in this room.
I knew it.
You have my,
I know, I read it when Jody gave it
what
to
the
me.
fire? Okay, she didn't hear me. She's turning up the heat. I said, put a fire on. Yeah, let me tell her, pause, you pause?
Yeah.
Pause. Do a fire. Maybe don't pause, don't pause.
Don't
Fine. You're not laughing watching the video, I don't know.
Watching the wrong video.
Yeah. You get some spirituality and some laughter. So much fun.
In a meditation the other night, I received going off this rainbow for warrior of light, that is rainbow warrior of light.
Yeah.
I was back to the blue light thing, blue light of love, what it said it was. And there were light beings, ET beings, and blue and those beings.
Yeah.
And I was given the name or title that I could refer to myself as intergalactic priestess of light. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And warrior was an
Yeah.
option of putting it in there. I was like, and I was like,
Well, it depends on the type of warrior and what type of warrior.
warrior
So-
of light.
We're here, yeah, it's a frequency. You're radiating that love and that light, and that is combating the darkness, right? So whether you want to see it from that perspective or just see it as I love everything, no matter how dark it is. And that's why a lot of times people will hear me say, you had a dark experience, even if you got hurt, that's okay too. Because what I'm actually doing when I do that is I am trying to cast the emotion of neutrality at the person, which allows them to transmutate the darkness faster.
Yes.
And so some people get triggered when I say it. They're like, that's not okay. And I'm like,
They have a hard time.
that's okay too, right? Cast it, take it, because that's an attachment of neutrality. And we need the neutrality, and we need those messengers to come in and assist us in holding space. And yeah, there's a lot of different topics that we touch into, and it's like, that doesn't look pretty. That's okay too, because it's here, it's in God's alignment. If it's here on the planet, it means that the source frequency had to allow it to be here. And that's just it, because I've seen things in my own life where there were people who were angry, or people, here's a good one. There was a person having a psychotic break, and then all of a sudden, another person comes over and uses like the name of God in their religion. The person who was having the break, all of a sudden, they walked away. They were out. They disappeared quicker than you could turn around and see. Now, what that showed us is that the source frequency radiates inside of all people. And so your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, they're not only tied into your body and your higher self is connected to the source frequency, which is God. That's a celestial being, is what that is. And so if you're having an interaction with a person and you say, you know, thank you God for helping me, or whoever it is you know and believe of, then all of a sudden there's a potential for that light stream to instantaneously shift that person's frequency, which makes them turn and walk away. This is the power of shifting your biological frequency. It's the same thing as a car wreck, right? When that time and space slows down, you send love and light. What you're doing is you're talking to the higher self, which shifts your potentials. And so whether you want to see it from like a God or a holy aspect or the higher self, it's all really the same thing. It's all happening instantaneously. So it's beautiful. And then speaking of celestials, because the source frequency for God is one celestial. There's other celestial beings somewhere in this reality, which is beautiful. I mean, that's like mind expanding, you know.
So on that, I wasn't sure if I wanted to ask about this, and you can tell me if it's not. So the religion I grew up in parallels a lot. It's a Christian based, and it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also called Mormon, if anyone's familiar with this. They're Christian, it's a Christian religion.
Okay.
But it's not a typical Christian religion, in which I remember as a kid saying, so like God is, we all know it and believe like in a religious sense, isn't the only God, and we can aspire to become a God. Like this is the thing. And I
Those baby
remember-
gods with a small g. That's how we see it. Because each of us is a fractal of God.
Yes.
And then when we become activated, it's like baby God. Because we're not the entire celestial being,
Yes.
who is the consciousness of all of the planets and all of the universes that we see here. That's
Yes.
the true source frequency.
But even that God, like the Catholic God and the Protestant God and like all the gods that we speak of in our religions
Yeah.
on earth, that's the God that we spoke to, or of, and referred to. It didn't stop there.
It doesn't.
No, and I remember thinking,
Oh.
why aren't we
Oh, so
talking
they
more
just
about this?
confirmed what the star people were telling me. They just confirmed. That's confirmation for me.
Fascinating
So I was like,
stuff.
you sure that there's a celestial? And they're like, yeah.
And I was
There
like,
is.
why aren't we talking more about this?
Yeah.
That's what I want to go. Just figured this out in my life. Like,
Well, because then the
Before
celestial
too, I wanna
beings,
see her.
yeah, the
And then-
celestial beings have friends. There's other celestial beings, so there's like multiple.
yeah, and it always spoke of Earth being a special planet. It was the only one that Christ visited for a reason, because we are special. It didn't go further than that.
Yeah.
And so like this whole world of spirituality that we're talking about, I'm like,
It's all connected.
Like-
It's all connected.
and then I was dating this guy randomly for a few months, and he was like, "Oh, you're Mormon?" I'm like, "Well, not more," but he's like, "What? That's fascinating." I'm like, "Is it?" He was like, "Yes." Did
They
you
put it
know?
on a TV show. That's fun.
Is it?
They have a TV show about the Mormons or the Amish.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing?
Oh,
Breaking Amish.
Mormons is
Breaking Bad.
You show about everything.
Yeah.
Is
They
there?
show with
The
Danielle.
show was
Danielle and the Star People.
Could you
TV show.
imagine it's so fall? We had all day. Yeah.
I don't need frequent naps.
Yes. No, you wouldn't. The stuff did that to me today.
Yeah.
In between, they were like,
That was
"Group
incredible.
recharge," Thank you. Send me love and light.
Oh my gosh.
Blessings.
Love to.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So this guy was like, he studied religion in college, and he was like, I read somewhere that it was the angels that came to visit Joseph Smith that brought in the visions. And there are, even within the gospel, there are some stories that you're like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't- then verse it again, or there's different
Yeah.
versions, so these get shifted. Like he read magic stones to translate golden plates found in a mountain that he was told find by an angel. And he read these stones in a hat, and they told him how to translate. People were like, "You're crazy!" So like they had to change the story. So
Yeah.
like
So it fits
every-
their brand
right.
consciousness.
Yes,
They should have left it alone.
Exactly.
Right?
And
It's
so
bones,
now that
you know, you're like reading bones. It's like that.
yes,
But all it is, it's a free pass for you to access your consciousness and access what they
Yeah.
had downloaded into his particular matrix. So
yes,
he was, it's like, just imagine this, not the star people, but extraterrestrials had beamed a consciousness brick of knowledge into his field.
yes.
And that when he accessed through this, he was granted access into that field of knowledge, which helped and assisted him in.
Which is so fascinating that it makes sense now on this level of awareness that they had to like switch the story around. And the story that he gave, and this is one that has different versions that no one talks about, because we're gonna know. He says that angels, and then he went and prayed in the woods, and God and Christ himself came down to visit. Well, this guy that I was dating was like, I read somewhere, I can't even tell you where, there was actually the aliens that visited him. And I was like, well, that would make
That makes sense.
Aliens are the energy of
Spirit.
and love.
Yes.
Yeah. Of it more closely, extraterrestrials, pronounced and stuff. Like,
Connecting things,
Yeah.
connecting Mary, Jesus,
Yeah.
the Egyptians,
Yeah.
the Rosicrucians, like their contact, their astral bodies, rainbow bodies, all of that stuff is making sense to me now. I always wondered, why are you giving the Bible references? Why is it so important? They're giving the, oh, that's okay.
You go.
They don't go close, they usually like lay in front of the thing. But it's putting the pieces, they're putting the pieces together for us. Of
Yeah.
what parts and what that real
the
story
real
is.
story as it's been diluted, changed, and altered, and purposefully or accidentally.
That's how it feels.
I think we're gonna wrap it up.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Thank you guys for watching. And we are sending you many, many love and blessings, and you have a great day.